So we're gonna play some more Metal Gear Solid 5. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I realized yesterday I was streaming two different games and my sound was turned on, so you probably heard like an echo and it was really annoying, and I apologize for that. I need to really watch out for that. Anyways, so I played a little Metal Gear Solid yesterday, and then I ended up playing some other games. Super Meat Boy is one. Um, let's not do the Metal Gear Online stuff right now, because Metal Gear Online just came out, and I guess it's kind of fun, from what people say. But I guess, yeah. So I completed a lot of missions last time. Um, Now I've done 50% of the game. I doubt I'm gonna. What? I, why?
Boss, I've updated the mission list. We've received some new job
Why?
offers. The details are on your iDroid. Boss, some of the kids we've been keeping here have escaped. We don't know why they ran off, but it may have something to do with Ralph's death. The intel team's looking for them as we speak. I'll add information to your side ops list as it comes in. You need to locate and secure those kids. I'll try to find out what happened.
Okay. Well, we might as well do side ops since we have these two major side op missions. So for now, we'll start up here and then move our way down here, I guess. We'll see how many side ops I can do. I wasn't gonna do any more side ops, but these ones are kind of important ones, so why the fuck not? You know, so. All right, let's. Before we jump into it, I don't give a fuck. Stop telling me about that stuff. All right. Let's see if there's anything new to build. Anything that I want to build, rather. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so we need more R&D. Base facilities. Let's see here. Yeah, we need one more R&D platform, but yeah, I don't have enough stuff, so. Alright, well, we got everything we want right now, so let's just go ahead and, not. Okay. Alright, let's get started with this shit. Okay. I shouldn't need anything else. Alright, yeah, because I like my dog. Some people like Quiet more. I like the dog more because the dog can follow you everywhere. Quiet only goes at certain spots and then snipes people off, which is good, but the dog can do that with the stun knife as well, so. Alright. Let's go in and fuck them up. So we're looking for kids. But I'm just gonna extract every motherfucker there, so. Actually, one thing I forgot to do was go into my, one thing I forgot to do was go into my options and Okay, they're still doing their mission.
Be careful down there, boss.
Okay. So the oil field's over there. So we got some tapes. Actually, ooh, no, not the log. Damn it. So we got some more tapes. Let's go ahead and listen to them. So, Man on Fire.
You mentioned that the Man on Fire was crushed under Sahelanthropus in its hangar.
Yeah. He was caught under the wheels of its transport platform.
But his body wasn't found.
What?
We searched the area the moment we arrived, but there was no trace of him.
I wasn't hallucinating.
I know. I trust you on that. That means someone must have taken the body. But when I got there, everything was still as it was. Even Skullface hadn't been touched. I can't see a reason to sneak into a place like that and drag out the biggest, heaviest guy there.
What are you getting at?
The only option left is... he got up and walked away.
That platform ran him over.
Just ran him over.
They're my hyenas now, or whatever these are.
Maybe not.
They look like
Slugs off
hyenas.
bullets, even rocket strikes.
They're probably not
There's no reason
hyenas,
to
though.
think that would finish it. It seems ridiculous.
Boss, you need to find those kids who escaped. Fighting's still the only way of life they know. If we don't bring them back, they'll just end up getting killed.
I dig anything up. But I hope to hell I don't.
No kidding.
Volgin, the GRU colonel, was burned alive with a Shagohod during Operation Snake Eater 20 years ago. Despite suffering severe burns to his entire body, he still clung to life. After you left Seleniarsk, Volgin's body was taken to a research institute in the outskirts of Moscow. But modern medicine couldn't explain why he was still alive. Not that the colonel was any ordinary man to begin with. That constant electric current he had running through his body that he could unleash at will. To be honest, I was always uncomfortable around him. Thought I might get electrocuted just by standing nearby. The Institute studying him was tasked with investigating...
He's coming too. Roger that.
Oh shit.
The comatose Volgin.
Are they gonna see me?
The Soviet Union's research into such
They
a
might
medicine.
see me.
But not long ago,
Nope.
the facility burned to the ground.
Not at all.
And Volgin's body was never found among the rubble, even though the fire started in the room where they were keeping him. This occurred at around the same time you woke up.
It's my Jeep
If
now.
Skullface was right, and a thirst for revenge can turn a man into a demon and keep the dead alive, then this man on fire who's been coming after us ever since you woke up, well, that just might be what's left of our old friend Volgin. It's not over yet. Back in 64, in Seleniarsk, you brought his plans for a utopia down in flames. That grudge is what's keeping him alive. The day the research facility holding Volgin burned down, a Soviet jumbo passenger jet happened to crash nearby, far away to the north of that hospital in Cyprus. On board the plane was a young boy who was being studied at the same facility. The plane fell to Earth from over 8,000 feet, but the boy's body was the only one not recovered. At almost exactly the same time as the crash, Volgin awoke in that facility. According to the Research Institute's documents, the gifts this boy demonstrated included psychokinesis and telepathy. To protect his mind from being inundated with other people's thoughts, he always wore a kind of gas mask. A rudimentary form of psychic insulation, apparently. We don't know where this boy is, but if Skullface is connected to him, we may cross paths with him yet. This boy is part of a new age, where nothing we understand about the world makes sense anymore.
You gotta extract him. Boss, get down. That's an enemy gunship. Stay low and crawl along the ground. That should enable you to sneak past enemies.
What were they doing in Nzoya Badia, that facility with all the people laid out in rows?
The abandoned factory Shabani was held in.
It is precisely as you guessed. Black Ana was coding languages into the vocal cord parasites.
Damn it.
They infected the subjects with the parasites, then made an incision in the throat to expose the vocal cords. That allowed them to play recordings of a desired language directly to the parasites.
And the parasites learned the languages that way. That's some teaching method. I just don't get how a bunch of bugs had the brain power for it.
They don't. Do not judge them by human standards. They do not learn as a function of intellect.
Hey, what's up, Hawkins 30? How's it going?
Language the parasites react to.
Whole lot of trouble they put us through. Making me worry like that.
And he would never learn the language and react to it. Pronunciation, rhythm, and structure are different. But what about, say, Spanish and Portuguese?
Actually not here, because those fucking guys are doing it.
Yeah, they're both Ibero-Romance languages. Even so, a Spanish language mating pair exposed to Portuguese will not copulate. Only when they hear Spanish. Only then. And the majority of their offspring.
Okay, subject is in.
So it's a literal case of a mother tongue.
But if that's so, I don't see how the different strains can be created in the first place. Well, among the many thousands of offspring, there may be just a few that react to Portuguese.
You're talking about mutations.
Correct. Playing the tapes helps to identify the mutant strains. Those specimens are then isolated and bred with one another. From their children, specimens that react more strongly to Portuguese can again be selected and bred. Repeating this process creates a strain that reacts solely to Portuguese and never to Spanish. Mutation and selection. No different to breeding roses.
There we go.
So you kept increasing the change over the generations, adapting them to languages from all over the world. Must have taken a hell of a lot of patience.
More like patience. Just how many died for this?
There's something I still don't get. In order to tell which larvae will react to Portuguese, you'd have to let them develop and then see which copulate. That means you need tens of thousands of guinea pigs. There's no way you could do that in a facility that small.
For normal selective breeding methods, you would be right. But there is a more effective selection method when training the vocal cord parasites. Go on. It is not only when mating that the parasites listen for language. Shortly before hatching, larvae display markedly increased activity in reaction to particular language. The active eggs can be identified under a black light. So the eggs that react to Portuguese are selectively placed in the throats of subjects. So you see, narrowing down strains that react to the target language is an effective process.
That was fun.
Though I'm sure that even so, many lost their lives to create the various strains.
Taken against their will into that
Okay, so
dungeon.
There are two reasons for playing the tape.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
To isolate the eggs that
okay, well that was an easy mission, a lot easier than I thought.
to cause the specimens raised
okay.
from the selected eggs to mate.
I get how the system works. But why do they respond to language before they even hatch?
Okay,
Sound like they
I
can
need
mate
to
from
check
inside an
something
egg.
here.
It is
So the
because
next one is
larvae
way the
learn
fuck
the
over
language
there.
before hatching.
You mentioned that what language the parasites respond to
We're
is
gonna have to go
hard-coded
along
into their
this
genes,
path, so
and that they
C.
don't have the brain power to actually learn a language. But then you say that the larvae at Nzoya Badia were learning the languages in the egg. Your story doesn't add up.
Oh,
Your country
I crawled on
to
a...
a unique songbird.
I was like, what the fuck happened?
Sure, what of it?
I crawled on a mine. That's what happened.
But no bushwalker can sing it perfectly at the start. As chicks, they can barely chirp at all. They must learn from their parents and other adult birds. Only then can they sing properly and attract females. So naturally, there are individuals.
Oh my god. You motherfuckers. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna... Well, I don't have a rocket launcher, so I can't take on a helicopter like that, so... Oh, god damn it. Stop. I need to get more ammo anyways, so... Also, let's listen to some tapes.
I have no doubt Skullface's plan is almost complete. At that point, I will no longer be of use to him. I must leave behind this record at least. A record of how the ancient vocal cord parasites became these abominable ethnic cleansing parasites. I believe he has two purposes for the ethnic cleansing parasites. The first, as their name suggests, is ethnic cleansing. This conflict between East and West that envelops the world will not last much longer. Once the Cold War ends, and the weight of America and the Soviet Union is lifted away, the ethnic conflicts they kept suppressed will all rise to the surface. It is not difficult to imagine that the radical sides will begin cleansing their adversaries. What if an ethnic cleansing parasite matching the language of the aggressors were to be unleashed? The aggressors would be washed off the earth. At the very least, the idea that retaliation could eradicate your people would prove a powerful deterrent. The second purpose is the Englishization of the world.
Did he say Englishization?
This is probably their main use. Man thinks in words, or rather, words are man's very means of thinking. If you erase a word representing some concept, the concept
That was a
itself
good shot.
disappears from the world. Nishone means beautiful in Navajo, but the image that comes to mind when we say Nishone differs from the Blagana's beautiful. An azure sky, a rolling landscape, lush greenery. The meaning we place in Nishone as its roots
Damn it.
in the Ne culture. If we
Fucker.
lose the
Hiding
word
behind a roof.
Nishone,
God damn it. I was hoping not to invoke reflex status, but
be
oh well.
washed away into oblivion along with it. Just as Orwell indicated years ago, Cypher, being based in America, is pushing Englishization for this very reason. Suppose all 5 billion people
You gotta extract him.
come to read, speak, and think in English.
Ooh
Their
shit.
wills could also be streamlined under English. Cypher's control would be all the easier. Economic governance would progress in leaps and bounds. The ethnic cleansing parasites would be a great aid in accomplishing this goal.
Damn it.
There is no
You have to
need
be like the most
employ every
accurate
language
shot ever
besides
with this thing.
English. All they need to do is weaken other dominant languages competing with it. Russian, Chinese, Arabic. If people
Alright, I need more supplies already.
such languages, they will flock to the lingua franca that is English. Cypher
need not even focus attention on smaller languages. After all,
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
by English, business, education, film, commodities. English has permeated every area of global society. I can see this when I look at young Dene. Some of them
He's coming too. Roger that.
of the Navajo language.
Where's my stuff?
It
There's
is
my
said
stuff.
that over 2,000 languages of the world are facing extinction. This very moment, cultural concepts and forms of expression are disappearing forever.
Yeah, the whole language thing, I don't know if it's such a big deal,
Englishization.
but
Networks have no
yeah, a lot of people are learning English. I mean, there needs to be one universal language. I mean, so Skullface was pissed off because English was the universal language? What if his language was the universal language? Then would he even have gone forward with his crazy plan?
from building the Tower of Babel.
That's the whole problem with this argument of language.
Cleansing parasites attempt to rob man of his words. Such irony.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Besides, humans didn't start speaking languages until like a couple thousand years after. I think. I don't know. I know that the original humans, like over 100,000 years ago, didn't speak languages. They just went like "Arr, arr, arr," like that.
Man's transition to walking upright.
They might have had a subtle language, but not a spoken language.
With his voice. At the time, the vocal cord parasites never harmed man. They
Or I'm
lived
probably
to
just full of
his own
shit,
pleasure
too,
and
so.
nourishment. In fact, you could call it a symbiotic relationship. Some animal species use particular vocalization patterns to attract a female and reproduce. Songbirds, certain insects, and also the vocal cord parasites. The difference is that the parasites themselves did not produce sounds. Rather, they had their hosts, man, do it for them.
So how are you doing, Hawkins? How's the weather in Ukraine? I imagine it's getting cold this time of year.
To produce a certain sound pattern.
You know, I've never been to any place in Europe. I definitely want to go for sure.
Other host pharynxes need only wait upon hearing the sound pattern of an attractive mate. They would manipulate their hosts into making contact with the person it came from. The female traveled through his host's saliva to the other host's vocal cords, where the male was waiting and the pair copulated. We can only imagine how the female manipulated his host, but it was probably through smell. Smells traveled directly to the limbic system via the olfactory cilia in the nasal cavity. Volatile compounds released by the female would
God damn it.
stimulate the limbic system, which controls instincts,
Ah.
making the host feel
Yuck.
amorous.
We'll wait for this
Kind of
asshole.
sexual
Oh,
selection naturally led
I did
to
hit him.
competition
Nice.
between the male parasites.
That was cool.
Males that had their hosts produce sounds perceived by females as more attractive succeeded in copulating and producing offspring. Evolutionary traits caused by sexual selection are curious. The peacock's feathers, the mannequin's dance,
You gonna extract him?
luminescence pattern, even with courtship behaviors that are not advantageous to survival. Those individuals that excel in them,
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
and it escalates with each generation. The same was true of the vocal cord parasites. Courtship vocalization rhythms and intonations became more sophisticated, and in order for man to produce such sounds, they had to alter his vocal organs. By lowering the position of the larynx and developing resonating chambers, they enabled more complex pronunciations. But that was not all.
The vocal cord parasites activated a transcription factor that would later control man's language ability. A protein that
Did I just come from here? Yeah, I did.
is called Forkhead Box Protein P2, or Fox P2. Activating this transcription factor led to the development of brain function capable of creating sophisticated frequency changes. This was the pinnacle of the vocal.
Is anyone paying attention to what he's saying anymore? Because I'm not. I'm trying to. I mean, I really want to get into this story, but you make it too hard, Kojima. You make it too hard.
Ceased to be only seasonal, and having lost pigment-based sexual characteristics, distinctive vocalizations became the most effective means for humans to attract mates as well. Combined with logic pathways hardwired into the brain, or universal grammar,
Suppressor,
it was
nice.
not long before advanced communication was possible. This was the birth of language. Luckily for man, it was around this time that a particular retrovirus was circulating. While not lethal, it infected not only man, but the vocal cord parasites as well. It is presumed that this virus removed part of the parasite's DNA and reverse transcribed it into man's reproductive cells. It was a vector. Among the genes it transcribed were the ones responsible for the production of language. The vocal cord parasite vocalization genes were written into the human genome. The parasites were no longer of any use to man now. Man could use his voice as he pleased when he pleased, hindering the parasite's courtship vocalizations. Having lost their opportunity to reproduce, the parasites died out, leaving behind only the transcribed genes.
Alright, I pretty much have done everything I...
Symbiosis with man. Its genes.
He's coming too.
So let's go to D, which is way the fuck... Oh god, I might as well just call my horse, because that's so fucking far away.
Difficult for man's immune system to eliminate.
Bye-bye, puppy. Bye, puppy.
Even cutting them out will be no simple matter, which is exactly why these ethnic cleansing parasites are such a formidable weapon. The rise of the vocal cord parasites goes
I'm gonna
back
call for more
approximately
supplies too, might
300
as well.
million years to the Permian period. At that time, they were not even parasites, predatory autotrophs. They are believed to have been the common ancestor to the Pentastomida and the Cyclops genus of copepods. However, Earth's environment underwent a violent change at the end of the Permian period.
I'm curious, while Code Talker is saying all these things, is he by himself in a room recording it, or are people actually listening to him? Because like I said, I'm having trouble paying attention, because it's... exposition dump is fine if it means something, but this is just exposition dump for the sake of exposition dump.
That could parasitize other organisms' respiratory apparatus. This survival tactic helped lower their oxygen consumption.
Did I go in here? I don't think I did.
Kept them securely in contact with inhaled air.
No, I did.
Survivors were those that parasitized the reptiles that flourished at the time. Entering the Triassic period,
I almost feel like the voice actor who spoke all this stuff probably was getting bored too. It's like, is this it, guys? And he's like, oh my god, I hope you guys are paying me for this. Or, well, no, they're getting paid, but hope they're getting paid well for this.
But another trial awaited them. The end of the Triassic period saw another drastic change in the Earth's environment. For most parasites, the male and female take the same host. Many are, in fact...
Oh, why did I die? I didn't mean to do